Heyo, my Planet Coaster friends! Johnny5 Alive here, and welcome back to Chomp Cove. That is right, today we are actually doing it. We're finishing Chomp Cove. This is our water park area of this theme park in the, what was this, a Sure Thing campaign level? And there's a lot to unpack in this one here. I got a lot of footage. It's going to be jam-packed start to finish. And we're going at 6 times speed. Got about 3.5, 4 hours of footage. We're going to be talking over this speed build for about 30 minutes. 35 minutes maybe. And then we're going to hop on into game and do like a 5-10 minute tour and ride all of the 6 flumes that I eventually build here. And check out the giant shark pool. So in the last video, we kind of got all of our path work done, got all the basics done, and I think that's like a really good way to work. You know, block it out, get the rough idea where your pathing system's gonna go, and from there you just kind of use the in-game pieces to fill. So we're still doing things like a little bit shortcutty, you know, using the pre-made pieces from Frontier, and you see me looking through them all and seeing what I can use here. I wanted to just take a look at some of them. I like the Planet Coaster 2 theme, as well as the Resort Pack. If we continue to build on this park and go to the other side, I'm debating maybe trying like a full Planet Coaster 2 themed side of the park, or maybe aquatic. It would be kind of cool to do like a mixed bag, because pretty much every single scenery piece that is in the tropical resort pack I have used on this side of the park. So I feel like if we continue on with this theme, it's going to start feeling kind of repetitive. I've done a pretty good job at like using the pieces in unique ways, not overusing them, just maybe like 1, sometimes 2 of the same item at most. So it's a good like gander at everything that's in the game by base and what you can do with it in terms of building a layout. So like that, like I said, if we continue on the other side, which we're going to need to utilize the other side for beating the platinum objective, it might be fun to try aquatic, because it still fits in the wheelhouse of this like tropical ocean park, right? We're right on the ocean side here. We got this beautiful shoreline, so maybe aquatic doesn't hurt, as well as the Planet Coaster theme, because it's all like blue and white. So I'll see what I'm feeling when we get there, but for now, what I'm doing is basically using one of every scenery piece that's in the game by default, and trying to fill out the beach area as well as all the empty areas in between, well, just all around our Chomp Cove, all right? So pretty much just grabbing one of everything and then putting them in. And then later on, we can use these shells for all of our facilities. So from past experience with the career mode, we definitely need a lot of amenities throughout the park. Lots of change rooms, bathrooms, drinks, vending machines, benches. And what you saw just a while ago, I was building the staff areas. I think I built 2 staff areas for this entire upper area, which is going to allow us to do our staff zoning and that sort of thing. I have noticed between playing on easy mode and being more diligent with staff zoning, staff assignments, as well as amenities for the guests, making sure everybody's happy, this scenario has had a lot less notifications than the last one. So I do think if you're managing your park properly and you're building it properly and you're not like over expanding, like what I did, the smartest thing you can do, and what I recommend doing, I chopped off the path leading into this area. So no staff can come here, no guests can come here, nobody can come here. And that way, like, yeah, I'm getting notifications, like you'll see like the notifications in the top left corner, they're kind of vibrating red. That's because it's like guests can't reach this pool, or right, like this pool is not safe. That stuff you kind of just have to ignore because obviously I'm working on it and there's nobody has access to this and I haven't set up lifeguards. So it is still a little bit annoying that, you know, I'm getting those notifications. I just kind of learned to shut my brain off and ignore it. But cutting off the path is super important because you don't have the guests wandering around here. And if they're wandering around here and you have like no shops or anything, they're going to get lost, hungry, miserable, desperate. All of those notifications are going to pop up. So just chop off the path, work on the new area of your park, and then once you feel like it's all ready for the grand opening, basically connect the path and you've opened up a new section of your park. So what you saw me do there was like I just slathered down one of everything from the scenery. Then I went in and put all my trees down and then all my shrubs, and it like very quickly came together. Very, very quickly. I was like, wow, this is great. So now I'm going to go into flume mode. I had this vision at the very beginning to, you know, build flumes at the top of that cliff, right? And then I wanted to like make it even higher. So I don't know if I did this right. I made it work by the very end, but effectively that platform, the big brown platform, the wooden platform, I guess that could have been the flume platform. It's just weird because you can't actually do an entrance to a flume platform by ground level. It has to always use stairs. At least from my experience, I tried it. You'll see just a little bit later on, I tried putting a platform level with the bottom platform, and then it wouldn't let me connect an entrance. So I guess the game assumes like you're always going to put a platform in the sky. This is where I do it. I wanted to do some testing with it because I was like, oh, that's weird. It took a chunk out of the building. I was like, maybe if I just like make it a part of the platform, I can just make an entrance so they just walk on through. But I guess Frontier didn't really think about us building an entrance to a flume at the top of a cliff. And rather, like, the guests would always need to use stairs. So they always have to use stairs, even if it's small. So yeah, you're going to see a lot of flume wiggling here. This is my first time actually trying to build flumes. And I think this is where you get, you know, lost in the game and eat up the most amount of time. Luckily, we're at like 6 times speed, so any mistakes that I do go rather quickly. But I realized like there wasn't enough space for the flume on that side. It was too short. It was gaining too much speed. So if I put it on the left side and bring it all the way over to the other side, I can get a lot more, I guess, flume in, which will slow down the speed of the actual, what is it, like the dinghy ride? Yeah, it's like a river rapids. It's a dinghy, right? So there goes launching into the rocks. Yeah, it's quite a heavy thing and it's starting up quite high. So with that being said, I wanted to dry this thing out. While this did end up working, what I found was it was like too extreme. The drop was too high, even though it didn't appear to be. So, you know, this is where experimenting, you're always like, okay, like how much fear is this causing? And that initial drop, as you can see, the red there, is too frightening for the guests. So I did a lot of experimenting with this, and I guess you guys can learn from my mistakes and see what I ended up with, but you definitely want like a slow incline. I actually like went to a water park once where it was like a 4-man raft and it just drops you straight down. And I remember so many of us got whiplash in our necks. So you think I would have learned my lesson and made a more modest drop, but it was definitely not as extreme as the water park that I went to. But I trying to kind of do almost like a helix down, and it's really sloppy. And what I found with the flume tool, you can't really smooth it. I don't know what it is, like even if you use short segments or you use half segments or you don't fully turn them, I can get like maybe if I'm lucky like 1% of my tracks to smooth just a little bit. So I don't know what the trick is to smoothing these, but you can nudge them around, you can move them, but it almost like makes the flume worse. It makes it more janky and more rickety. And all I can say is that my best advice would be, if it's not working out, rebuild it. You always do things better the second time, and you'll learn from your mistakes. So yeah, it was too slow here, and then it just didn't have enough speed. So what's the solution, right? That's kind of the route I'm looking for, but we don't have enough speed to get over that bend. And even when I finally fixed it so it did have enough speed, it ended up being a low excitement factor. So the guests were like, this is a boring ride. So the solution is to make the helix smaller, because that means the dinghy has less traversal distance on a smaller spiral. That means it still has more, it doesn't use up all of its speed on the I guess the spiral, and it maintains that speed going into the rest of the course, and then we could do some uppy downy. So I did like a really tight spiral, and that seemed to work, and then we do some uppy downy stuff, and then that increased the excitement rating. But it was a lot of tweaking, and then I realized even this, I was coming in too hot, so I had to go all the way back and added another third spiral. So this corkscrew, or this not corkscrew, this flume was a nightmare. And see, you can see it's still like too much of a hot drop. So I was like, oh crap, like I had to grab it all and move it up, and I was just like so fed up with this thing by the time I was done with it. Luckily, like I probably should have not gone for the dinghy one first and instead gone for like more small flumes, but I wanted to make sure the big tracks were in first so that the little tracks could navigate around them more easily. So I think I made the right decision there, but I started off with the most frustrating flume, and I think from learning from building this, the rest kind of went pretty smoothly. I got a good feel for like how much momentum they need, like how to dry them out, how hard they can hit the water. I definitely feel like there's a lot to experiment with these pools still, because I dropped them from a pretty high distance at one point, or I just deep plunged them in with like that straight down doom drop. And it's like, as long as it hits the water, as long as it ends up in the water, it doesn't seem to affect the score. So what I mean is, like, I could, in theory, drop it. I could drop them like 10 or 20 feet, and then when they come flying off the edge of the pool or the flume, that's not calculated. That drop from the edge of the pool, from the flume to the pool, is not really calculated into the heat maps, as far as I can tell. Which means, as long as they safely hit the water, in theory, the ride should work. And then it had me thinking, like, what if I just launched them, like, had the pool exit, the flume exit, like 100 feet in the air, and they just fell 100 feet into a pool? I used to do that in RCT3. I would shoot them off a waterfall into a pool down below, and I thought it was the coolest thing ever. So that's definitely something I want to try. I just didn't want to do something so ridiculous on this map and have somebody in my park die. I try to add a little bit of legitimacy to and realism to it, but then yeah, the whole goal with these flumes was to go like flume madness. As you would have saw from my thumbnail, it's just absolutely ridiculous. The amount of flumes and how it's a spaghetti mess. And I definitely think there's a way to, I mean, if you look at any actual water park, the flumes are nicely organized, right? They're neat, they're tidy, they spiral together, they separate nicely. From a distance, it's clean. Look what I'm doing. I'm literally a sewer shark over here, like navigating my way underneath paths and crisscrossing tracks and dropping over other tracks, under tracks. And that was like intentional. I felt like if I'm going to do something the Johnny way, it's going to be wacky, zany, fun, and crazy. And when you ride these, it's going to be a complete spaghetti mess of a ride, which kind of makes it interesting. Honestly, there's an element of craziness to this that makes it super fun. So that was the direction I intentionally went with. And then the goal was to just get as many flumes up on this platform as possible. So with the 6 that we ended up with is quite a lot, but because we're so high on we're on a cliff, and then we raise the platform above the cliff, these are very, very tall. I mean, what is that? That's in Simsverse, that's like a 20-story building. You're going down a slide on a 20-story building or something. It's absolutely insane. So these flumes have a lot of speed and momentum, and learning how to trim that. You don't have trim brakes, you don't have anything like that, and you don't want to come crashing into the water full speed. But like I said, I think as long as like they hit the water, like that straight drop, it didn't have any impact, even though it's like basically jumping off a 20-story building into water. and then it turned out fine. It has a great rating. So I was like, okay, like the game's pretty forgiving. If you're coming in hot and fast, the water breaks your fall, and it doesn't make it like super extreme or anything. But I wanted to make sure that I at least ran the course, and the slide was losing its momentum by the time it hit the end. This purple one, I wanted to go really nuts with and do a lot of uppy, downy, spirally, big drops. It goes up again, drops down. It's probably my most intense, and I think it turned out green across the board. The guests love it. I thought later on you'll see like a 6-year-old girl go on it. It's amazing. What a hero. It's awesome. I mean, that's a look at it at 6 times speed. It's ridiculous. So I think that's my favorite one, just because it wraps around, it has so much speed, and it does so much. It's pretty cool. But yeah, I think this whole process of making all these flumes, obviously in the future, I'm probably going to do it like a little bit more realistic and clean. Have all the helix like tied off to the side, and like you could see separation between the flumes, and not as much of a spaghetti mess, and make it a little bit more presentable. But for like the direct, we have a shark pool. Like this is Planet Coaster. This is my imagination. This is my craziness. I'm a mad scientist playing around with toys, and this is where you want to go crazy. You want to go crazy on scenario mode. You want to go crazy experimenting, testing things, and the best place to make mistakes and avoid perfection is your first time ever doing things, and doing it on a scenario map where you can get a little bit messy. So again, like, I swear by this career mode as a great starting ground, because again, I've mentioned this in the past, it just gives you such a good constraints. Go make me flumes, go make me a coaster, go make me these flat rides, build an area with 4 pools, you know, that sort of thing. You have an objective, you have an idea in mind, but then you can kind of like add more to it. Like, I think I only had to make 2 flumes, and we made 6, right? We only needed to add 2 pools, but we did a shark pool. And we're beating the objectives, but we're adding flair each time we do it. But on top of that, we have like a really cool landscape to work with. That upper platform, the cliff, served as an amazing opportunity to just set up all of these flumes. It was the perfect part of the park to do the water park. And this career mode just really lets you kind of experiment. I think if I was doing a water park in sandbox mode, I'd be like, okay, let's go go to Google, search water parks, see what kind of what other real life water parks do. Then I get too finicky on like the realism, and now I got to make a indoor facility. I got to do this outdoor facility. I got to put all this stuff in. I got to make it super realistic. I got to build everything from scratch. And you're looking at like a 200-hour project, right? Whereas this is just, I did it in a night. It's amazing. It's fun. And that's where I say, making a reference to like Rollercoaster Tycoon 1 is a perfect example. You'd make these amazing parks in just a few hours. And in game time, it was like 3 to 5 years in game. You'd finish a scenario by like year 3 or 5. But you would make these like really fun parks in a short amount of time. And that's why I think Rollercoaster Tycoon was so incredible and loved by the community, because you could really like accomplish a lot in a short amount of time. Planet Coaster 1, I felt like everything took a million years. Park Beyond, I felt the same way. And I think Planet Coaster 2 is the first time ever where I was like, with the new stuff provided, the new tools, everything, I have heard people complaining like the controls are a little bit slower and clunkier than Planet Coaster 1. But like, while that may be true, the tools also are pretty broad. Like, the way I did the pathing, that would have taken me years in Planet Coaster 1. I set up all that pathing in no time. And then all these blueprints like this, I'm like, okay, like I want to put a building underneath this platform because the platform's kind of floating. So what might make it like you're climbing up a building. So I take one of their pre-made blueprints and I just like start hacking at it. And, you know, a few minute modification to something that's already in the game, and I'm able to accomplish like a pretty decent build. I don't know if people remember this, but I was super disappointed in Planet Coaster 1 when it first came out, and still to this day actually. There are no pre-made blueprints from Frontier, like maybe like 3 per theme. It's like they show you how they would do it, and that's it. And then you gotta go do it, like do the rest of them. There's like 40 to choose from for every theme here. And it's really helpful for this kind of do-it-yourself, real quick kind of RCT style of gameplay. Being able to throw all these background buildings in, even the brush tool, where you could draw scenery and it just like puts plants everywhere. I was like, done. Like, there's my scenery. Before in Planet Coaster 1, you had to place them tree by tree by tree and rotate them all, and you couldn't even scale them so they would all be the same. So there's so many tools, robust tools I would call them, that make playing the game fast and user-friendly. And with that being said, tackling these campaign levels, when you're doing it at a fast rate, you get to sample a little bit of everything. You get a taste of a little bit of everything. And for me, it's been a little bit more fun to actually, more rewarding, I would say, to build like little themed areas that we get to go explore and actually have like a mini park spotlight than, I don't know, building a shop in Planet Coaster 1. Because that's what I was doing in Planet Coaster 1 for like the first, I was playing the campaign and I got to shops and drops and there were no shops in the game because the Frontier never made any. I was like, ugh. And it was a sci-fi level. So I was like, I guess I got to go make some shops to beat the scenario. And then I went down this like rabbit hole where I made like 20 something sci-fi shops, all 5-star front of the workshop. That's where I made the big gulpy T-Rex and all these crazy fan favorite creations. And then I went and plopped them all down in shops and drops and beat the scenario. But I went on like a 80-hour detour just to complete one level in the scenario of career mode in Planet Coaster 1. You don't ever have to deal with that in this game. It's all there for you. It makes it go snappy, speedy, and very fun. And with that, like I said, building these compositions, building these little areas, getting to sample, how do you make a flume? How do you make a coaster? How do you get to do this? You get to play around with a little bit of everything. And I feel like that's a much more robust experience overall than I had with Planet Coaster 1 the first time around. And I don't ever think I made I did complete one scenario, Good Golly Miss Molly, in Planet Coaster 1, and I did upload that to the workshop. It was like my first ever workshop creation, and I kind of filled out the scenario as best as possible, but it's nowhere nearly the quality that this one is. It's not nearly as detailed, it's not as jam-packed, it's not as fun, and it's honestly a little bit cringe and crappy looking back at it. And that was like me like doing my best with the tools in the game. So I have to say, like, campaign mode, not only the management aspect of it, but just the tools that they give you to do it in a timely manner makes the whole experience way more fun, and kind of gives me a little bit of nostalgia for Rollercoaster Tycoon. I really feel that. Obviously everything's gonna take a little bit longer than RCT, right? Because it's like, it's a 3D game. There's so many meticulous things that you need to think about. RCT1 was just super simple, but the limitlessness, the creativity here, the wow factor, obviously there's a reward for it taking more time. It has that punchy wow factor. You couldn't even ride coasters in RCT in first person because it was all top-down bit game, right? I'd even go to say, as much as I feel like it's faster to do stuff in this game than it was for RCT3. I felt like RCT3 was the same issue. It's like, I can't spend 50 hours on one level. It's too much. It made me just want to go play RCT1. It's so simple and great. But yeah, they really came to their own on this campaign and this game, and I feel like everyone should give campaign a try. I've been having a great time with it, and I haven't felt like a desire to go into sandbox mode yet and make a shop, or like, I do have the desire. Let me rephrase that. I have the desire to go into sandbox because of this stuff. I really love the tropical resort theme. I want to go make like a tropical resort shop, but that means I would have to stop playing my tropical resort, and I'm having way too much fun building a whole park. I'd rather build the park than I would a singular shop, but I'm missing out on those workshop ratings. Everyone's uploading stuff, getting 4 or 5 stars, and I'm just sitting here making this. Making videos. But that's okay. My time will come, and I look forward to making these things. But I think what's kind of useful about this process is learning what you want, right? Like, when I do finally go make my shop, or like maybe a flume print, a pool print, some sort of blueprint that encompasses like a water park or some slides, I'll have like a better idea of like how that fits into a park and how it could be used, and you know, thinking about like what Frontier provided for us and how I found that super useful while playing this. What kind of shops, facilities, scenery, and blueprints can I make that I find useful in campaign? And one thing I'll say for certain is the flat rides. There's like 3 for this theme. Maybe because I don't have the research fully unlocked, there might be more, but there's definitely a shortage of flat rides in terms of, I mean, they made like a few for every single theme, and it takes a lot of work to make those flat ride skins. So I definitely feel like a flat ride contest would be nice with the traditional themes, like a Channel 5 gaming contest, but you have to use like one of the 5 base themes. Just keep it nice and classic, keep it traditional, keep it simple, because we need that stuff on the workshop so that people playing campaign could just go ahead and download it. But yeah, here we go. We're putting the final touches on everything. We're putting our benches in, our bins, our seats and eateries, and plugging in all the shops and setting it all up. I was looking for some sort of centerpiece to put here, this big open plaza, and I was like, wait, no, it kind of just gets in the way. But I put like a Queen Splash over there because this is my splash zone. So gotta have the new Queen Splash. She's such a good character. And that's pretty much it. I think from here I just do the staff. I do the zoning. Yeah, you can see me making a new zone here. So we're gonna make a whole new zone, recolor the old one, make a blue one for this new Chomp Cove, assign entertainers, and everybody else. Now, I believe if you open up all the shops at once, it should auto-assign them. So that's what I did. I put down like 5 janitors, 3 engineers, assigned them to this zone, 2 entertainers, and then I just went into the menu and just opened up all the shops. So it should technically work fine, and so far there's not a whole lot of notifications popping up. So this is like a well-oiled machine of a park now. We have staff zoning, we have different areas of the park. It feels themed, it feels complete, and it's a much more uplifting experience than the last one, and I just like the map a lot more. So we're gonna switch over to past Johnny. He's gonna take it from here and give you guys a tour of the park. Enjoy. Ladies and gentlemen, we have done it. Chomp Chomp Cove is complete. I can't believe it. Wow. So I've done all of this in one sitting. It's been an absolute joy, but also a grind. I'm just in the zone. This is absolutely crazy how much I'm accomplishing in Planet Coaster in what feels like such a short time. Holy moly. Yeah, we took shortcuts. We used pre-made scenery. We used the brush stamp tool. We built a park. It's not cheating when the tools are there for you. I know like the true park enthusiasts, the legends of this community are not gonna like, you know, piecemeal things together like I have. They're gonna build everything from scratch. However, the overall feel, the look, the aesthetic of everything, it does feel like a fun park, considering how quickly we threw it together. I could probably use some more benches over here. I forgot about this area, didn't I? We'll revisit that another time. Yeah, it's turned out great. Composition-wise, it's awesome. And my whole plan of making a spaghetti mess of slides has turned out freaking awesome. I don't know why this one's stuck, though. It's been sitting there for a while. We're gonna throw it into test mode and ride it. I'll open it back up and double check it. But obviously, now that the area is complete, we definitely want to ride all of these crazy flumes. And I actually haven't ridden all of them now that they're all there, right? Riding them one by one was cool while I was building them, but now when you're passing in and through and under all of these freaking... This is the Superman right here. You're lying on your belly on a carpet, doing the Superman. I wanted it to be very uppy-downy, very long, and we're soaring over everything. It's really extreme for a, like, yeah, it's kind of nuts. Uh-oh, watch out! Oh my god. Amazing. I let the community name some of these. Somebody named this the Danger Noodle. Oh, someone's going on it. I was gonna kick them off. Let's, woohoo! This one's dangerous. That's why it's called the Danger Noodle. It has a really high intensity rating, as you can see why. But that little brave girl went on it, so I'm here for it. And here we got the Vanilla Beam. Oh, the Vanilla Bean, excuse me. Somebody named this, and I asked Discord to name the flume and to give me a color scheme. So if that's something you guys are interested in, be sure to join Discord. When I'm playing the game and I need a name or, you know, a suggestion, I'm on general chat in Discord, asking away. This one's just a straight Doom drop. The Doom Flume, somebody named it. It actually has, yeah, I guess I should show this. So the Doom Flume rating is 7 excitement, not much fear. The Vanilla Bean, 6.3 excitement, 5 fear. Danger Doodle, 7 excitement, 6 fear. And that little girl went on it. The Superman, it's the most modest one of all of them. Excitement 5, fear 3, but I made sure to, I mean, it's so high, that would be terrifying in real life. Game stats really don't depict how insane that is. Then the Tropic Flush, we got a 8 excitement and a 4 fear. That one was a pain in the butt, as you would have heard me talking about in the speed build. And for some reason, it's getting stuck up here, and the staff isn't working it. How do we call the staff? Where's our staff? How do I even do this? Well, I don't see anything here. right? Am I crazy? Oh, it's the platform. Oh, he's heading to platform 6. Ah, there they are. They must have been on a break. Okay, we'll give them a break. And last but not least, we have the Chantini. Are these guys gonna go? Oh, there it is. Oh, no. I screwed it up. Well, there's 2 more in line. It was pink by default, and Chant's nickname for Baldur's Gate was Chantini. So it was pink. I just called it the Chantini. I thought it was kind of fun. So how do we, why does it keep select? Oh, there we go. Whee! It's actually pretty moderate. And it's not very teeny. Whee! Plonk. And they turned out great. That's just a whole lot of... It's 6 flumes all together. But we did the raft flume, or the 2-man raft, the 4-man raft, as well as the... what is this one called? I don't even remember what it's called, but it has the little thing that you slide down on. We did a straight drop and then 2 regular flumes. So, and they have like different entrances. I don't know. You have a bar you can hold on to for the big drop on that one. It's pretty wild. It is pretty wild. I love how chaotic that turned out to look. It all goes into a shark pool. Isn't that cool? People swimming in my shark pool. I love it. It turned out awesome. And all these facilities over here. Gloopy. Change rooms. I did this cool little thing with the counter, so you can get some stuff there. I tried putting a staff in the truck to sell Slurpees. I guess that's a thing you can do. I was just experimenting, and then I put a dryer inside of this. I don't even know. Is it hooked up? Is it working? Let me double check the pathing. Oh boy, that's not right. Huh? I think it's hooked up. I don't think we have to mess with it. Yeah, there's a lot going in on over here. It's kind of nuts. Oh, and this little shack also has a dryer in it, and that's all hooked up. 2 ways to enter. You can go in through the Chomp Cove sign, or through here and take a walk through the city. And there's plenty of amenities in here. Luxury, drinks, bathrooms. I made sure to... I definitely learned from the last scenario, and now we have stuff everywhere, as well as staff facilities tucked off to the side in these hidden little nooks. Probably could have put up a few more bushes in here, but that's okay. And there's another one. Where did I put it? Back here. So that's quite nice. Yeah, I quite like the way my staff facilities turned out there. Everything's hidden, and it does feel like a tropical beach resort water park. I feel like mission is accomplished. However, I think this is the 2nd video now where I have not completed the gold medal. 2 in a row, 2 for 2. And that just means we're having fun, right? It's okay if we're not beating the objective, if we're having a good time. And at the end of it, we get to go on a fun park spotlight, right? Or a water park spotlight. So it's pretty cool. We need to build that 2nd coaster. Everything else is done. Everything's taken care of. And my idea of shooting a coaster out of the shark's mouth, I just don't know where I'm going to put the boarding station now. I guess I could delete some of this stuff, maybe squeeze one in there. It's a bit of a nightmare. If I did a launch coaster, I guess I could like launch it up and in. That one's going to be a logistical nightmare. And I guess that's a problem for another day. But I do think we own, if we go to the land, right, we own all of the water. So I suppose if we do a shark coaster over here, it can kind of just skirt around the water. So maybe we can come up with like a fun layout on the water, a launch coaster of some sort. It goes back in. That would really complete the area as well as complete the objective. But we're not like, we don't have to be married to the idea of shooting something out of the shark mouth. It just seems like such a good opportunity. However, there's like all this other space that we could still utilize, right? And considering I've been playing this scenario for, I want to say like 8 to 10 hours. I don't know, somewhere around there. We've really filled in this area. If we want to fill in all of this area as well, we're in it for the long haul. So we'll have to see what the platinum objective. I know on that last map, Parks and Restorations, the platinum was so ridiculously hard to achieve. However, it was mostly because we're on hard mode and we needed a daily income of 200,000. I have so much money now. I don't even know what my daily income is. 320,000. Easy mode is way too easy. It's absurdly easy. So, but it's kind of like you have infinite cash and you're on sandbox mode. Just be creative. You don't have any stresses. And I think it has something to do with like, I'm having way less notifications, probably because things are breaking down way less. I think things break down way more often on hard mode. So therefore you're getting more notifications. So I definitely recommend playing on easy if you just want to get creative. But I'm so glad that Chomp Cove turned out okay. okay. Well, I'll let you guys be the judge of that. What do you think of Chomp Cove? Did you enjoy it? Are you happy the way it turned out? Do you have any thoughts and suggestions? Fire away down in the comments below. And thank you all so much for watching. We'll see you in the next video. Bye now.